Hey everyone, welcome to the Burnt Brass Homestead channel. I have some bananas that are getting old, and I also have some mangoes that are getting old. So what I'm going to do with this is make fruit roll-ups or fruit leathers. This is one of the things you can do with old bananas. You can also peel and freeze them, or slice and dehydrate them, or slice and freeze dry them. But today I'm going to make fruit roll-ups. So I cut up the mangoes, and now I am going to place the bananas in the blender. This is a really quick and easy process. The dehydrator will be doing most of the work. Initially, I showed that there were 5 bananas, but I actually had a smoothie for breakfast. So there are only 4. And then with the bananas, I'm going to put the mangoes. And because the mangoes do not have a lot of juice, nor do the bananas, I'm also going to add a little bit of liquid. If you're using fruit that doesn't have a lot of fruit juice, you can add maybe apple juice or some other all-natural juice. This is actually organic orange mango, 100% juice. And I use this in the kombucha, so I have a little bit left. So I'm going to use that. I don't add sugar to my fruit leathers or fruit roll-ups, because when you dehydrate it, it really enhances the taste of the fruit. So in my opinion, you don't need to add sugar, but if you want to, by all means, go ahead. I just recommend that you, if you do add sugar, you may want to consider adding like a powdered sugar, or taking your cane sugar or whatever sugar you use, maybe put it in a grinder to make it more of a finer consistency, so that you're not crunching on the fruit roll-up. I don't know if you saw when the blender was running, but I did add a little bit more juice because I don't want it to be, I want it to have a nice consistency. I definitely don't want it to be too thin, but I also don't want it to be too thick. So this is actually, that's a fine consistency. That's fine. So I'm gonna leave it just like that. Plus I don't have any more fruit juice left. And now it's time to prep actually this is the point where you can taste it if you're someone who would add sugar to it. And like I said, it tastes fine to me. Not to mention that once you dehydrate it, it's going to enhance the flavors and pull out the sweetness anyway. So I'm going to leave it as is. Next, it's time to prepare the fruit roll-up racks. So let's do that. All right, so here we are. And this is a Nesco dehydrator. And with the Nesco, it typically does not come with, or at least it didn't when I placed the order for my Nesco I would say about over 10 years ago. So this thing has lasted a long time. And I had to pay extra for the fruit roll-up trays. And these come in handy when you're making fruit roll-ups or fruit leathers, as well as when you're making various types of gravies, or if you want to dehydrate milk for long-term storage. So what I'm going to do is I want to lightly oil, very, very lightly oil the trays, these fruit roll-up trays, and that will allow for the fruit roll-ups to pull off much easier than if you did not. So very lightly, I just want to, and this is olive oil, but you can use, you know, your preferred oil. If you didn't want to use any oil, you can also use parchment paper and just cut it out in a circle, or if you have a rectangular or square, then it'll be easier. So I'm just going to pour this mixture on. The thicker you pour this on, the longer it will take, obviously, to dehydrate. But you don't want it too thin, but you also don't want it too thick. That's one tray down. Next, what I love about this snack is that it is 100% fruit. So it's a healthy snack for yourself if you have a sweet tooth, like I do. But it's also a healthy snack for children to keep them away from sugar. Making fruit roll-ups is also good when you have fruit that is ripe and about to go bad, especially if you have a lot of it and you don't want to waste it. I'm going to set the timer and the temperature. For the time, I'll start off with 4 hours, see how it goes. And for the temperature, I am going to go with 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And fruits and vegetables, 135 degrees Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Celsius. It has been about 3 or 4 hours and the fruit roll-ups are ready to be cut and rolled. The time it takes to dehydrate the fruit roll-ups will depend on how much liquid the mixture contains, so your time may be longer or shorter than mine. But it is very important to note that the thin layer of oil is vital for the dehydrated fruit to peel easily from the plastic sheet. If you don't want to use oil, you can use parchment paper as an alternative. But this is a step that you do not want to skip. Now just cut the fruit sheets into strips, long or short, and roll. When I'm done, I place mine in a glass container and I expect for them to be eaten within several days. So as you can see, you do not need to add anything but fruit to make fruit roll-ups. Additional liquid is not needed unless you have fruits that do not have enough fruit juice. I probably could have gotten away with not adding any liquid if I didn't add the bananas. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to help this small channel to grow.